Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Guile Treatment. Going to be sending off Rise of the Masters today. We are joined by Barry Everson. I believe you're sort of based out of Mississippi, but I feel like you've just been traveling you're doing a little bit of the T-Gourd nomad these days and just popping in on other play groups so you've been traveling for work, right?
Yeah, I've been pretty much all over the country, the entire Midwest. I went up to Chris's store a few times, but I decided to leave that job because I got sick of sleeping in hotels. So I'm back in Mississippi.
Okay. Cool. When did you start playing?
I started 2 or 3 weeks right before Nationals 2017. So I've been playing for a little over a year and a half.
So many new players. That's like Barrett, too. Like, Barrett's first major event was that event as well, right? Yeah, it was.
I think so.
Yeah, I think so. Man, all these new players coming in out of the woodwork, man, all these babies, they don't know year-long gaps between set releases and dock strikes. We're gonna have to get into that with the Rise of Masters send-off with the dock strike. So yeah, continue, Barry. You played at US Nats 2017, and
my first event was US Nats 2017. After that, I played in the Atlanta PTC, and I kind of screwed myself out of top cuts. I discarded the momentum for Wounded Dog and forgot to ready it. And then when I went to go play my next attack, I was 1 card short.
Ooh.
I could not commit it because I made the mistake of not readying it. That was my own fault. I was still new. I accept it. Since then, I've been playing pretty consistently. I've been to most of the premier stores in this country by now. Thanks to work, I've been traveling. I've gone to Chicago, Rockford. I've been to Omaha a few times. I've been to the Kansas City stores, Atlanta, pretty much just everywhere I can get to.
Mm-hmm. Also, I should also cut in and say Barry is a Patreon sponsor, so thank you for that as well, sir. We appreciate you very much.
No, you're welcome.
You travel around, now you're back home in Mississippi. Are you gearing up for your first ever home PTC, right? It's the first time Mississippi's had one, correct?
Correct. Mississippi's never had one that I know of. There's been a few in New Orleans, and there's going to be one in Slidell, which is about 40 minutes away from New Orleans.
Okay.
I think not next month, but the month after.
Okay.
I'll have to check on that, but this will be the first time Mississippi has hosted one. And we got those nice, pretty iron knuckles that,
when is that? What is the date?
I'm not 100% sure. Let me just
it's next month, right?
Yeah, it's in June.
Okay.
It's next month.
But it's kind of interesting to see now, like, all these play groups are finally getting their PT, like a PTC or whatever. Because, we've got Rochester's came back, and, Mississippi, non-New Orleans, Louisiana's getting one. Then you have we had a bunch of California, and
California has 3 this year.
Yeah, and then the typical people of the Meccas, the Atlantas, the Rockfords.
I think Arkansas got theirs back this year.
Arkansas got theirs back too. Omaha has one later in the year. Indianapolis has another one. That's their second year in a row. Rockford has, I think this is like our 5th in a row. I don't remember. We've been doing it forever, so this is what it feels like. So with the playmat too. The playmat is in works. It's in process. So I'll be updating everyone. So you got a date for that PTC, Barry?
The website's acting a little slow.
Hey, go figure. Go figure. Wait, I may have it on my phone, so I may take pictures of that stuff. But you know what? We're doing our best UFSU impersonation right now. So
June 15th and 16th.
There you go. He got it. Boom. I was too busy. I had too many cards on my pictures, so I was scrolling too much. So,
Panda's Paradise in Gulfport, Mississippi. It'll be our first time hosting one.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody come down.
If someone's traveling in, like, what's the nearest airport? I mean, I guess you probably want to have your ticket already, but
Gulfport has their own airport. It's not too bad to fly in. Besides that, the cheapest one to fly in is probably New Orleans, which is about an hour and 30 minutes away.
Oh,
Okay,
then drive.
that's not too bad.
Yeah,
that's like
not
flying into Chicago for Rockford.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's actually pretty much the same distance. But if you fly into New Orleans, you get to go to Bourbon Street and go get some crawfish. And
well, if you fly into Chicago, I guess you can get deep dish pizza.
I worry that if I flew into New Orleans to go to a PTC, I wouldn't leave New Orleans.
You never make it back.
I'd be like, well, you know what? This has turned into a New Orleans weekend.
Yeah. Seriously. All right. So some news. There was a ninja errata today to water freezes. I didn't know about it until I saw it on Facebook. I guess I don't know. I guess we can. You want to say what it is, Rob? Because I know it has to do with water freezes.
It's simple. They so there's a new card coming out in 7th Cross, Dragonstone, which is effectively sort of a similar card to Self-Destruct, where it's like first E, everybody blows up all their assets and foundations, like only playable if this is like the first card that you've played this turn, and it can't be canceled, and your combat phase ends when it resolves.
Can't the speed can't be modified too, right?
Yeah, the speed can't be modified. It's like 7 difficulty, whatever. I said this thing is the difference, I guess, is Self-Destruct was a first form. So the issue is, like, I guess they could have made it so that it was like, instead of if this is the first card you've played, if this is like was your first form, but that's a little clunky.
Maybe the first ability you played would work.
I guess. But yeah, I mean the thing is like it's nice to be able to like pump it with like Nightman or whatever.
Yeah.
And so Water Freezes is a card from Blood Omen that I think has been sleeved up exactly 0 times since it came out.
Actually, I did it once with Garrett Brett 4 in the Rockford PTC. Yep. Did it once.
It's been sleeved up exactly once since it came out. And it's I think it has like, is it only one ability? I don't even know.
Yeah, it has,
but the important one is
I think
Form Commit. I think it's your foundations can't leave your staging area basically, like,
or discard pile stuff can't.
Okay,
yeah,
cards can't. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Like for the rest of the turn, and then it's like your next flash attack gets safe or something.
It's something weird. Yeah.
Yeah, and the idea was that you would use the form to commit that, and then you would play Dragonstone, which doesn't share any symbols with it, but it doesn't really matter. And then you use the E, and your staging area would be protected by water freezes, and so it would basically just blow up all your opponent's cards, and you'd be fine.
I did that with Robert's Big Kick.
So that's the thing.
That's what I did. Like, the same premise.
Right. I mean, this is sort of like not a new interaction, like you said with Robert's Ultra Rare, which was discard momentum, like, you and your opponent both like pick 2 of your opponent's foundations to destroy.
Yeah.
And so if you used water freezes, then you could discard a momentum and just you pick 2, and they couldn't blow anything up because your stuff couldn't be destroyed. Correct. And that was it.
Correct.
So I mean, that's the thing is this is like existed, just not on this scale.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, I guess it's not like a terrible change, but it's really not great to be making like erratas like this and not announcing them.
Correct. And that's what I was going to get to.
Is, I think like an errata like this is basically the same as like a ban, where if you're making it, like, it should get a post, it should get like probably a little like a little blurb explaining like why it was errated, just if somebody doesn't know. And yeah, I mean, that's it. Just so people know. If like, I think it was Mike Hardiman just, looked in the thing when it came out and I guess noticed that water freezes had been like added. And like, if he hadn't, and I mean, I'm sure that there would be some like people that are like, there have to be people that are at least thinking about playing this deck like this coming weekend. And that would just be terrible to have somebody like show up to an event and they're like playing the deck, and then they're like, oh wait, no, like that got errated. And it's like, well, when? Oh, this week.
Yeah, definitely
Like,
should have had it.
I don't remember seeing an announcement. You know,
I don't even remember even seeing a post about any of that stuff. So, because I haven't been on Facebook very much today.
There wasn't a post. There was a post that basically said, "Here's the new standard legality document."
Sure.
But the thing is like typically like without any sort of like mention that there's a new errata.
Mm-hmm.
Like a standard legality document is literally just like, we have a new set. It's standard legal. Rise of the Masters, not standard legal.
Yeah. All right.
Like,
fair enough. All right. So, any other news? There's a Premier Store event in Kenosha on June 2nd. Us and Rockford are going to be going to it. Hope to see some of you there. You can pre-registration for the Rockford PTC is wonky this year because their website is messed up. So you're gonna have to call into the store, or you can just message me. I can put your name down, and you will get the pre-registration price at $20. If you want the exclusive PTC playmat featuring players from last year, it's an additional $15 this year. So it's $35 for the package. The playmats are usually really, really cool. You can only get them there at the PTC via pre-registration or top four. Top four are guaranteed one. You can do like Rob does and just kind of wing it and maybe get one, or pre-register with a mat and get two. You can do that if you want. But yeah, you can call the store. I will have the number in the description box below of the video. Also, they can also take your name via Facebook Messenger if you want to do that, or let me know and I can put your name down. I prefer not to, because I'm only there twice a week, and it's a whole rigmarole. It kind of sucks because their website's all messed up. So
I mean, basically, just pre-register if you want a mat.
Yeah, if you want a mat, pre-register. If not, you pay $25 at the store. So it doesn't really matter either way. I'm thinking we're going to hit close to 50 to 60 players. I'm hearing about a bunch of people that I didn't count on coming. So please pre-register so the store knows, hey, we're here. We're going to take the entire fucking place over. And
so never mind. Space. Pre-register even if you don't want a mat.
Yeah, even if you don't want a mat, please. Just do it. I always encourage it because you save $5. And I know it's only $5, but you save $5. Rob also said that plane tickets are outrageously priced because of some music festival. Get tickets as soon as possible, and if you're not driving, I would say if you're in like 8 hours, I would just drive. So, or if you got free plane tickets, I guess you can always just fly in for free. But anywho, I think that's it for news. Like I said, Seven Cross is coming out Friday. Yay! I'm going to be doing a Patreon exclusive box opening with Trent for our Patreon members only. So you're going to get on there if you want to see us open up some sweet, sweet cards. I'm hoping I get all the Solenka stuff. He's claimed all the Turnaloof stuff, and then we're going to fight it out for the rest of it. So those are the two characters we both want to play out of the set. So I guess we're going to go to the in memoriam part of this episode. Let's play some sad music. I wish I had some. But, man, Rise of Masters, dude, gone as of Friday. It's kind of neat. It's nice that a set that's been in standard for this long is finally leaving. Even I know you don't want to see it go, but this was the first set after the tins, and there was a giant snafu at the docks where they used to get everything from China, and there was a dock strike, and the boxes and everything were sitting on the dock for like a week. So not only did you have to wait forever because of Chinese New Year and then the dock strike because it was an extra week, and then we had to wait another week for it to get out to distribution. It was nuts. And then the set finally came out. And then they sold it. And then it was basically gone within like 6 to 8. I think about a year, right?
No.
Right?
You could still have found like some Rise of the Night. Warriors of the Night.
Okay, Warriors
in
like 6 months.
About a month.
Okay,
month and a half.
Yeah.
Like that thing was gone.
Gotcha.
So Rise of the Masters was basically the last set that came out before I started playing.
Yep.
I don't know if I've told this. I mean, I certainly haven't recently. Basically, I was in a group, like a versus Facebook group, and there was some thread, and we were talking about like dead card games, and this might have been like right around when they were like announcing like the 2-player card game like coming out.
Oh, sure.
And so there was sort of some discussion about like games that were like, alive, dead, coming back, whatever. And at one point I like mentioned UFS, and there's a player who doesn't play anymore, Joe Tonello, who's in Nashville. And he was like, he's like, dude, like UFS, like that's still a thing. Like there's a set that just came out, like Mega Man. I was like, what? So he sent me like a link for Ultra. And so I was just on Ultra, just like looking through like all the Mega Man cards. And I was just like,
it's cool, man.
This is awesome.
It's awesome. Oh, yeah, also, to interject real quick, I found some awesome 8-bit GIFs on the internet, and our glorious episode around the box here has some sprinklings of some Mega Man characters. So just for you, Rob. Yeah. This is for you, man.
Hopefully they are ones that are in Rise of the Masters.
They are.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing about that is there's a bunch of characters in the set that were in the, I think the Mega Man 3 like Game Boy game, which I remember having as a kid. I know like Snake Man, Gemini Man, who else? Pharaoh Man, I think was in it. Maybe he wasn't.
No, Pharaoh Man. I think Pharaoh Man was in. He was in 3. Yeah, he was a Dr. Cossack guy. So yeah, he was in 3.
Okay. I mean, Skull Man. Shadow Man was definitely in it. Yeah, it's just like, or no, not.
I think Shadow Man was. Shadow Man was.
Maybe it was Shadow Man. So he's not. He came out in the other thing, but whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there was definitely like some nostalgia, and then I think the one that was like really the sale was Snake Man, because I just saw his thing about like all his like low attacks and like all that, and I was like, oh, it's just like the search snakes. They like crawl around and like you can pick them up and throw more and do whatever. And I don't think I ever played Snake Man, but he's probably the character that got me back into UFS.
You did have a deck that you sent me one time.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I like looked at Snake Man decks, but I never like sleeved one up.
Yeah, very true. Before we get into some of the cards, though, yeah, it was a neat set. It was cool because it was the first non-fighting game, non-Red Horizon license, correct? I believe in UFS history.
I mean, like Shadow War is sort of.
Oh, Shadow War 2, I guess, yeah. But I mean, like in Jasco era, I guess that'd be the first thing, I guess.
I think so.
But which is kind of big because it kind of pulled in a different audience. I know a lot of people who picked up Mega Man, maybe not played UFS, but they bought cards because, hey, it's Mega Man, and they kind of tapped into that nostalgia market where I think they did pretty well. I don't know. I know a lot of people still say, hey man, what's those Mega Man? We have Mega Man sleeves now, and there's deck boxes and all that stuff. And I know a lot had to do with the board game, I guess. Like, just aside from the cards, real quick, but I know like they kind of designed the board game around the same time, I believe. Rise of Masters. They were doing the Kickstarter and all that neat stuff, and that basically paid for all UFS.
Well, I think that the Mega Man tins were like a Kickstarter
exclusive for a while. You got them early, is what it was. Yeah. But excuse me. Yeah. I played a lot of I played Mega Man 2. I played Pharaoh Man. I played Gemini Man. Rest in peace. Skull Man. Rest in peace. Dabbled in some Dr. Wily 1 because I thought he was cool, and then then like you get Dr. Wily 2 and Power Creep Gash Grab happens, but whatever. But no, they had some really the Skull Man suite, the Bounce Fighter reactive style designed for combat was still being played up until I played it like last weekend in a deck.
Yeah, it's still getting played.
It's still getting played, and luckily, I think we're going to have some cards that maybe not are direct replacements, but they're something that will, they'll be kind of the same stuff. But yeah, it's kind of sad to see it go because it was like the first, I believe, it was like that was the first starter decks with the ultra rares in them too, I believe, right? Yeah, they did. The Mega Man Dr. Wily had ultra rares. That was like the first big thing that, hey, we're going to start putting ultra rares in our starter decks because it gives people value, I guess, because you kind of make your money back. Well, at that time you did because of how the cards were, Mega Man was the new thing, so all the cards were kind of priced. Now you can get some of them for like $1, but anywho. So should we go into, like, cards we're going to miss or any, like, maybe the most successful character? You want to say who's the most successful character out of the set? non-banned character, Barry.
Non-banned?
Non-banned.
Metal Man or Sniper Joe?
I mean, Sniper Joe is a box topper, maybe.
Yeah.
Man, it's tough. Thinking of, I mean, Metal Man is definitely up there.
Yeah.
I think Ring Man is kind of a candidate.
Yeah. Yep.
I know he won at least one PTC.
I think he's
definitely
won
topped a bunch of other ones.
Maybe he's won two. I don't remember.
Maybe he might have won something else.
Yeah.
I think he won teams, didn't he?
No, that was Yellow Devil.
The teams with the Turbo Man and whatever at the Zoe Worlds.
Oh,
I think it was JC.
Oh yeah, I think so. I think you're right.
Mm-hmm.
And then Pharaoh Man's won Worlds. He's
actually it's probably Pharaoh Man.
It could be
I mean, if you got singles cardboard.
Yeah, it's doing pretty good. Well, Skullman, banned characters, I would say Skullman and Gemini Man are probably the two most successful, actually. Right. But there's a lot of good cards in this set, and it's going to be weird building a life deck without, Surveyor or, I played Ring Boomerang in Tim's Cole Khan deck at Worlds, and I'm just like, holy shit, I should have given this card more time, because that thing's fucking beating with Cole Khan, man. It's nuts. And...
Yep.
It's kind of sad, a lot of how those characters kind of got outpaced by the new design in a way.
I guess it's sort of one of those things where the characters at least, it's sort of they're less of a loss because it sort of feels like they rotated a year ago. When
correct.
Up came out.
Yeah, very true.
I mean honestly the biggest one that's probably seen play since then is still Ringman, right?
Yeah, Ringman always gets a new. I know Kyrie played him at the Rockford PTC.
The
Geyser decks. I know he always gets a showing when a new set comes out and there's some giant costed attack like a Guilty Throne or Fusion Soul Fist, stuff like that. He always gets. Because you get to play on a 4, or whatever, or a 5, and it's kind of value. Yeah. So
that's what Kyrie was playing at Worlds. She played Ringman with Guilty Thrones, and watching her playtest versus Mark Tyner at the kitchen table at the Airbnb was pretty fun. Watching her just drop Guilty Thrones on turn 1. She has absolutely no fear. She just opens her hand and goes, "Oh look, Fatality, Guilty Throne, let's go."
Yeah.
And she hits it every time.
Well, I mean, in that case, isn't that on a 4, so you can't even fail it?
Yeah, you won't. Yeah, you can't even fail it at that point. Yeah, very true.
I mean, you don't have 3 cards in your discard pile to stack, but whatever.
Yeah, you just draw 3 cards anyways. Who cares? But yeah, so man, it's gonna suck to see some of these guys. Okay, so I'm gonna start off my miss. We're gonna do some lists here. We're gonna miss list, and we're glad to see you go list. So should we do the positive or the negative first? What do you guys want to do?
I just say positive first.
Positive first? Cool. I would definitely say Dust in the Wind's going to be one that I'm going to miss. It's basically been a pinnacle of speed hate since it's been released. It also it's one of those weird speed hate cards that have a block, because nowadays they print stuff that have cool abilities like that without blocks, so you don't hold them in your hand anymore, you just play them. But yeah, rest in peace, Dust in the Wind.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that might be the biggest loss for me is Dust also. Especially just having played Life a ton.
Yeah.
That was just pretty much automatically 3 of, and maybe a 4th on the side or 4 main, depending on what was happening in the meta.
Barry, were you gonna say something?
The only card I have above Dust in the Wind is Balance Fighter.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean those are sort of honestly, I think those are the 2 cards that it just sort of depends on what symbols you play.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And they kind of have their own suite too. I guess you don't always play Hatred of Autumn with Dust in the Wind, but it's always in the running to play with Dust in the Wind because it's sealed basically the other card. It's sealed Balance Fighter. So
yeah.
Hatred of Autumn was at least a 1-of in every deck on symbol for me. Sure. I love that card.
Sure. I know Rob was a big proponent of it too. Rob liked a 1-of.
Yeah, I mean even just a 1-of, 2-of.
Yep.
Because there's decks that really rely on certain foundations, and if you just get that in play until they can deal with it, it's like you can just shut it off every single turn.
It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird though. That was really the only reusable seal like that because it was symbol specific. Because every other seal card we have in the format is flip or destroy now, which is kind of
Yeah.
I think hatred, and especially now, like I've had some things like looking at, I think especially air, like there's nothing like hatred for dealing with like opposing foundations.
Mm-hmm.
That's sort of just like reusable, like diverse. Because this thing is you don't even always hit the same thing every turn with like Hatred of Autumn. You know, if you're playing defense, you can sort of like, for instance, like against Akuma, I mean that seals like admission fees because it's got all.
Yep.
So you can sort of be like, oh, I'm gonna hit like admission fees a bunch because like I'm on defense. And then whenever you like finally decide that you're going to be like attacking, you know, it might be like, all right, well, I don't really care about admission fees, but I'll seal like, you know, something like whatever, some other like defensive piece that he might have.
World Without Battle, Speed Hate, stuff like that. Yeah.
Right.
They're still gonna he's still gonna have Speed Hate on board or whatever.
I'd still go after admission fees half the time just because it can negate 2 speed from you.
Yeah, true. Yeah. And then you can set up a Kongu too that way. So you may just want to pop that.
That's true. Yeah. So. And the thing is, too, is that it seems like a lot more limited than it is because, right, it's not like, you know, if your opponent's playing, like, a Void deck or something and you go, oh, well, I can't seal Void cards, but, you know, those cards have 2 other symbols, you know, so, I mean, you can sort of look at, you know, all the characters or whatever of, like, recent sets and just be like, all right, how many characters have one of these 3 symbols?
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be a lot. Like, there are not going to be, like, that many that have absolutely none of them. So it's definitely going to seal a lot of cards, even if they're not playing one of those symbols.
Moving on. Barry, your next card, your card that you're going to miss that's not called Dust in the Wind.
Card I'm going to miss the most is not called Dust in the Wind. Probably the card that took me the longest to get. I spent, like, 6 months trying to find a set of Rain Flushes.
Oh, yeah. I remember back in the day that was a kill card, man. That was the end. That was one of Void's ways to kill you because it didn't have a lot at the time. So Slaughterhouse Rain Flush, man. It was still, I think up until Bebop meta was still being played in certain. I want to say, no, Chris Nixon's Dulcine deck at Nats didn't have that, but. There were decks that did play that back in the
Wasn't Slaughterflush the Athena deck that won that match?
Yeah, you're correct. Yeah, you're right. That is the deck that won Nationals. Man, that seems like forever ago when that Street Fighter meta, boys. That Street Fighter meta. But yeah, that Rainflush was a hard card to get. I guess I didn't have that big of an issue because I played when the set first came out, but it was a highly contested card for people who came into the game late after the set really wasn't able to be found until Platinum, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the only way I was able to finish my set.
Sure. I guess in the same vein, Mega Man 2, goodbye. I guess Kevin Broberg can breathe easy at night. He can breathe easy, man. You can breathe easy. Your Kryptonite's gone forever. Even though he's been gone for like a year because no one's really played him. So, but yeah.
Yeah, no one's giving him a shot anymore.
Rob.
I'm gonna go with Merciless Master.
I would hope it was that card and none other. So
yeah. That's just sort of a card. I think that if it wasn't rotating, it would probably still have like I guess the thing is like because Surveyor is also going, like they kind of have like a decent amount of overlap in terms of, you know, like Merciless Master is kind of just Surveyor with extra steps.
Sure.
If you have like a draw effect, you know, you just stack an attack, draw it, and you're good to go.
Yep.
But right, it also has the other ability of like guaranteeing a 5. So I guess like you're losing a foundation, so it's sort of just like, you know, a 4 check in that case because right, you can't commit it to pass check.
Yeah.
But there's plenty of times where, you know, you're like, all right, I'm gonna win as long as I check a 5, and you can be like, oh well, I'm checking a 5.
Yeah. Or like I've seen Miles Tyler do with Terry Bogard. he would stack an attack. He would stack that. He would block, reverse. He would block, check a 5, commit, draw with Terry, then reverse with the card on that he just stacked on top. Like he did that play for a long time. That was one of his bread and butter plays, I should say.
Yeah, I mean, I just used it with Gutsman because I would just throw an attack on top, use anything that made a check, and pick it up.
I feel like I got an attack.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played it in Cassie because you get to stack anything you want and just draw Nutcracker off Nutcracker.
Yeah.
Or draw it off Akimbo or.
Yeah, you could stack that. You could stack that attack, then check the 5 for the Akimbo with the same card. So it's like, okay,
Yep.
All right then. It's like just go to town.
That card's awesome.
Yeah, that card. I know that that was. I considered that the Maryland special for the longest time because you and Scott played it in almost every deck. You guys
pretty much. If we had a symbol for it, there were at least 3 in the deck.
Yeah, oh for sure. And then I started playing it, and I'm like, holy shit, this card's awesome, and But moving on, I'm gonna go with Ophid just because, man, there goes all the throw hate is a. I guess it's not throws aren't that big or whatever. You got Goro and you got you got some stuff, but being able just to block anything and not take any damage and have no on hit effects happen, or even with Gauge now as being a big thing, like Ophid leaving is kind of sad. So
I would say in some ways though, like this got like the most direct replacement in getting Kieran Soul. It's different symbols, but I mean Kieran Soul is literally just Ophid with a little bit of speed hate and no block.
Yeah.
But did you ever block with Ophid? You just played it, and then you're like, I'll block with anything.
Like, do you think? Okay, so real quick, do you think characters who don't stack will still play Kieran Soul?
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean. People played Ophid.
Yeah,
it's just like
that's true.
It's still flip -1 speed and
block. I
don't take damage if I block this. Yeah,
true. Gotcha.
If you are playing a stacker, doesn't Immortality do the same thing?
Yeah. So Immortality is if you block with a character card. So like, it's not as good, but it's still like an option for sure.
Sure.
Yeah, I've got 3 of those in my Remulus deck, and it's.
Yeah, I mean, right. If you're playing Remulus, like. For sure.
Yeah, you just block all day and don't take damage and makes everyone sad. So.
But then you're playing Air Remulus.
Oh.
I like Air Remulus.
Leave Barry alone.
My problem with Air, honestly, is just I really don't like the. I mean, speaking of hatred of Autumn leaving, they just have so few ways to interact with your opponent's staging area. Like they have good defense for attacks in terms of high seas and
but we're not talking.
Task
but we're not talking. Ooh, those some good cards. But we're talking about Rise of Masters now. We're not talking about these cards.
But we're talking about how Hatred of Autumn is going, and it's probably the best
even Dust in the Wind
foundation hate that
Air has. So. Yeah, unfortunately, Air. It's not Air's thing though. So, oh well, it's too bad. Too bad. So sad. Sorry, Air. You are. For years on being one of the top symbols, you were no longer one of the top symbols.
Oh.
But anyway,
yeah.
Okay. Barry. A card you're going to miss.
Probably Reactive Style.
Yeah, I remember. I know Rob loves that. He'd always tell me, why aren't you playing 4 of it? I was like, because I don't want to play the Canadian 5 check. I'll play 3, and we'll leave it at that. I don't want to play the Canadian 5.
I always force myself to put at least 3 in the deck.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, that card's nuts, dude. It's still today. Like we talked earlier, that card's still being played. Momentum is premium, and that's momentum gain or hate on one card.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean it's snap momentum generation if you need it. It's momentum hate if you need it. It's got a block on it.
Yep.
It had high block too. Even it's like geez. It's like
I mean, in the days when having a +3 high block was good, it's just dude, yeah, sure,
yes, so for sure, yeah, man, Skullman's cards, dude. His foundations were fantastic. His attacks,
pretty much all of them except for whatever
no other purpose, or as I appropriately called it, no other porpoise.
No other purposes.
Yeah, no other porpoise because it looks like he's stomping on a dolphin. Because Mega Man kind of looks like a dolphin. So I'll
tell you what, no other purpose, permanently on my like shit list because I opened so many of those in like platinum packs.
Oh,
I don't just, I get like the platinum pack hand out, like open it up, be like some card, and also no other purpose. It's like, I don't know why this is in here. No one ran this card except maybe in some Skullman lists that are completely irrelevant because Skullman's banned.
Very true.
I don't think I've ever seen that in a deck, to be honest.
I never even played it, and I've played some really bad cards, and I've never played that card. So yeah.
Is my camera still working? Because it kind of glitched out on me.
Oh, you're good. We can see you. We can see you. You're fine. All that matters is my feed. If you go blank, it doesn't. As long as there's been people who've done episodes when they're completely frozen, and it doesn't matter as long as mine is fine. So it doesn't matter.
Okay.
So you're good. But anyway, Rob.
Improved design.
Ooh.
That was a card I feel like I definitely remember seeing that a lot in. So I guess speaking of Skullman, in like Water Skullman lists of just pitching cards to like pump damage on a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like a key card in the Zoe deck that I built.
Yep.
And just like 2/4 no block, and it just like didn't matter. That was something that was like really, really, really good for like 7-handers and just sort of like converting like dead cards in your hand into like a kill, and like the R to just like pick up either like a good block or more gas. Like that card did everything.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
It did not block itself with itself though. That's the only thing it didn't do.
It was played pretty heavily in the Liu Kang decks from last Nationals too.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, because they would just pitch anyways, and they just pitch foundations out of their hand as they were killing people. So yeah, that's pretty good. I think JJ had it in his Liu Kang deck, I believe. I'll have to ask him. I believe so. But anywho, I'm gonna go with. I guess we're gonna have to say it. So we're gonna go with Surveyor on this one. One of life's premier card, like outside of like proactive draw, because life at the time didn't have a lot of draw. I guess like they had no mines and things like that, but like as foundations, I think that was the only way it was able to like draw. Correct? I want to say.
I mean, I don't know if I call this draw, but
well, it adds it to your hand. Whatever. Yeah. Adding is drawing. Drawing is not adding, or whatever. But and it randomly gave your low throw 3 damage if you ever wanted to use it, which you never usually did unless you were going to kill somebody. But
sure.
Yep. Yeah, it was a good card. Rest in peace. I'm going to pour one out for you over all these cards I'm supposed to send to Barrett.
Barry, do you have another one? I gotta think like one more for the
Barry.
Cards I'll miss.
Barry.
Short Fuse.
Short Fuse?
Yep. It's one of the only cards that was able to deal with Prepare to Fight when it came out.
You know what could, though? In the same set, E Honda, but no one played him.
I played E Honda in Turbo for fun.
Okay, there you go.
You're right.
Yeah, but he could do it. But yeah, no, it could also seal any block that was partial. So it was one of those rare cards that actually interacted with cards on block, but it wasn't fast enough to stop Ever Hopeful. So.
Yeah. One of the funniest things, so speaking of like sealing stuff, I played that Earth Vicious deck in Rockford, I guess last year.
Yeah, it was last year.
And I was playing almost all mid attacks, and I was like, well, I guess I'm just not gonna even bother with like Short Fuse because like I'm running all mids, like whatever. And man, I sure got like chain blocked by a couple Black Dog's Fangs, and I was just like, you know, it'd be super awesome to have like 2 copies of in this deck.
Short
Fuse. Because like I had it in there, and I was like, there's no like, this doesn't do me really any good. Like there's no like all the like mid blocks that like block throws, like whatever. Like I can't seal them because all my stuff's mid.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I'm like getting blocked with this like high attack or a high block that like I really don't want to deal with, and I'm like, yep, I had a card for this. I didn't run it. So yeah, that was a card that I definitely was high on at a couple different points. And I think it came out and just I remember at one point it was pretty high, like price-wise, and then it just kind of fell off the face of the earth.
Well, I think that had to
And
do a
then
little bit with
as like the symbols got better again, like
Yeah.
basically like water was first, and then more recently like fire
And
and
earth.
earth have been better,
Yeah.
and so I think it's really made like a comeback as like the symbols have gotten better, and also as like some of these like really powerful block cards become like more and more common. Like people are just like looking for
ways to stop
anything
it.
to sort of like stop them, and like for like a 1/5 and like the all it does is flip, like that's great.
I also think a lot had to do with the rise and fall of Templar with that card. So, because since Templar did not see a lot of play, not a lot of people were having to full block, these nicer attacks like your spears and, your capsule zaps, stuff like that were, at the time of the rise and fall of Templar, which could be an entire show on its own. But that, you're right though, but as of late, it did see some play because of that type of stuff. The blocking, like the chain blocks with the Black Dog's Fangs. I don't want my opponent to... I guess it doesn't interact with the Zoe card you like a lot, Formidable Task. Because it's an R, it's played after block, right? So you could technically respond.
Maybe. I mean, the biggest one, I would say, like, I mean, it's Seal Stop.
Yeah, Seal Stop.
Like,
yeah, that's
that's a big deal.
That's the big deal. So then it would hit Formidable Task then, because it's after you block with it. So,
okay.
Yeah. I'll do one more. I'm definitely gonna say. I'll say Balance Fighter since Barry hasn't said it yet. I gave you the option, man. I gave you the option.
I mean,
I went with Surveyor, dude. So
we talked about it, so I kind of figured it was already
Nope. It's still a fair game. Basically, that card did so much work for everybody, and it may just go into the Wall of Fame at Jasco as one of the most heavily played cards in all of existence because card reset speed, positive and negatively. Like it reset it, just gave you if opponent lowered it or you raised it. It also drew you cards if you were able to discard it for effects. You just didn't really want to discard it during the review step because it didn't net you anything. So, I remember playing against some random fun Sebastian decks where the Sebastian deck we were talking about, Rob, where the whole point was to do all these really cool combos, but if you can get 4 Balance Fighters in your hand, you just form and pitch them all, and you get +4 to your hand, and you just not win at all because Sebastian's bad.
And you could just lose anyway.
Yep, because Sebastian's bad.
Sick.
But yeah, man, I guess you could kind of say design for combat. It's in the same kind of.
Whoa! You got one.
Oh, I'm sorry. Whoa! Sorry, man. Sorry.
I would say like the last card that is sort of gonna be like a miss for me is Moonbase. That was one where when I started seeing like the 7th Cross characters, especially Remilus. I mean, now Remilus like has it on her 2-dot anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But like basically like Remilus, like Torn Loose, and I guess like those are probably the main 2.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was just a card I was like, oh my gosh, like I have like never put this in a deck because I never played Gemini Man, so like there really wasn't like a point.
Yeah.
But like I was like, this is definitely going to be a card that I'll probably run like 1 or 2 copies of just to be able to like loop some like character blocks and stuff. And then I realized I was like, oh wait, like
it rotates.
It's gonna rotate like when the set comes out.
It was really nice with Gemini Man 1-dot, man. I'm gonna tell you that right now. It was really nice.
Yeah. So like I said, I mean obviously like Remilus turns out like doesn't need it because if she's stacked, like she can get a block anyway.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, that's a card I was looking forward to playing, and then will not. I mean,
like Turn Loose has water, right?
He has air and evil.
Oh, so yeah, so he could easily have looped and flipped your opponent's staging area with it with the 2-dot. So yeah.
Yep.
Barry, your last card that you were gonna cry about at night.
A card that I unfortunately did not get to play very much of, but Air Tiki.
Oh, that's on my I hate list. I'm glad to see it go. Fuck that card. So, but anywho, go ahead.
I only got to play it in 1 deck, and I absolutely loved it. I just hadn't really played much of anything that would make use out of it in the last year or so, but I think that card is going to be pretty missed for me. Even though it's not heavily played, I love playing it.
I just don't think there's that much that sort of does that kind of like incremental speed anymore. It's I feel like a lot of the pumps now are just like either nothing or like a big number. And so like the plus ones, like they don't really like quite add up.
Well, I mean,
the way
like
that they like used
to. You
to.
don't think it's a reset?
Yeah, it also has a speed reset, which isn't horrible. The speed reset's fine, but
it's also unique and terrain,
which is really weird. It's
that's weird.
Yeah, which terrain means unique in its own right, but whatever. But yeah, so I'm not going to say that as my card that I'm not sad to. I'm glad it's leaving. I'm going to say Ringman. Fuck you. I am so glad you're leaving. I fucking hate that guy. Fuck that guy.
Harsh, dude.
Yeah, I can't. I'm so glad. I am sorry, you Ringman fans. I am glad he's gone. Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you, man. See you later, bro. So, yeah, I've gotten blown up locally by that guy way too many times. Steel Res. Frickin' the stupid Bloody Baptism deck that I think Scott won with.
He's the only person that plays Bloody Baptism.
I understand
I guess
that.
Maybe there's some other people that could.
Yeah,
but
no. Let's be honest.
So good.
Let's be honest. He's the only character that ever played that card. Maybe Yoshimitsu might play it now because he has Guilty Throne, so why would you do that? But yeah, I'm just glad. Goodbye. That's all I have to say. Goodbye. Good day. I say good day, sir. Okay, I'm done. Go ahead. Next.
Oof.
Yeah. Follow that salt. Barry. Barry, go.
I don't know if I can follow that salt.
First card I'm glad to see go was Self-Destruct.
Yes.
When I first started playing, I play against Corey Aguilar a lot, who is he loves Vega. And one of the first things he started doing when we started playing was the Hizoku Prince Self-Destruct, and it was the most annoying thing on the planet.
I think it's pretty good.
It did win a PTC. It did win a PTC.
It did.
So, yeah. Rob, you can thank Rob for that. I guess Rob really brought that one and just won with that. Yeah, but like everyone that was like one of the Vegas staples then, right? Like you would run Hizoku Prince and blow stuff up and like, hey, look, my stuff doesn't go away, but I'm just gonna hack all your checks. You can't build on your next turn, and I win.
Yeah, I think that Self-Destruct is one of those cards that got a lot worse as offenses got like more and more explosive. Because basically effectively Self-Destruct just says like unless you have like the Hizoku Princes or something, like some way to really like have a lot of a staging area, it sort of goes, okay, let's start the game over. I'll go second and I'll start with like one foundation. So if your opponent just goes like, okay, I'm gonna build like 4, and you don't have a whole lot that you can do with like one foundation, so you have to build 2. Like you might just get like blown up.
Yeah, you're not in a good spot. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, right, stuff like Vega, stuff like Ringman, like they cared a lot less because they were just like one foundation and like okay, I can play like 3 or 4 attacks, like I don't care.
Yeah, very true.
But yeah, I just it was sort of one of those cards like it got a lot scarier to use, and you also had stuff like the Raiden like 1 diff that just goes
it just cancels it. Yeah, just like Aegis and Wise is just like no.
Yeah. So, I don't know, man. I'm just like looking through the set. And I'm just like, dude,
I'm glad to see Metal Blade go.
This and this and this and this. You know what? Ominous Whistle. Good riddance.
Oh.
I don't have to hear anyone ever tell me to put Ominous Whistle on the deck again. Hey, man, have you thought about putting Ominous Whistle on this? Yeah, I did. And then I was like, oh, wait, no, that card's terrible.
Do you hear that? Do you hear that right now? Trip Pants is crying all the way from his work right now. He can hear you saying that. I can hear him crying. Poor Trip Pants. That was like his favorite card ever out of that set was that. It's so bad.
Ominous Whistle was one of the first cards I put into a deck. When Street Fighter Verse came out, I played Sagat.
That was like the first card I took out.
Well, I played Sagat when Street Fighter Verse came out.
I lost to an Ominous Whistle Sagat in Guelph, played by Mike Lowe, and I probably should just quit right then.
Wait, did you get skilled by Mike Lowe? Was he drunk or wearing a helmet?
Sebastian, okay?
Okay, fine, fair enough. Hey, everyone. Okay, I've tried an ominous whistle deck. It did not work out. Did. Yeah, everyone did because it's like it had like one of the coolest bang for your buck moments. Cause it's like you flip, cool. It's an attack. I draw it, and then you play an attack and you check an attack, and it's just like I'm screwed either way. But I guess in the same vein, I am glad that Shield Ram got banned.
Hang on, well, Barry, did you have more to say about it?
Barry, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Oh no, that's pretty much it. It was one of the first decks I built. I love Sagat.
Yeah.
I wish he was better. Personally, I think they should have just made the Akuma 2-dot from Street Fighter vs. Darkstalkers just Sagat 2-dot because it fits.
Yeah.
I mean, and he was in the book too, so.
Yeah.
He probably had about as much art as like Ken or Chun-Li. So.
Yeah, exactly. I think he was one of the main characters in the storyline too. Like he was with the group of Street Fighter characters. So, but yeah, I'm gonna piggyback and say I'm glad Shield Ram got banned. It did not deserve to go out the way it did in Platinum. They should have just let it go. So, poor Shield Ram. But yeah, I'm glad Air Tiki's gone because that shit's annoying too. So yeah, I guess is Surveyor on the we're glad to see it go list too? Because
I think I am. Like ultimately, that was a card that like I ran in some decks, mostly Anacharis.
Yeah.
But every time I was like playing against a deck that was like running like Surveyor, like I just hated it. Like, yeah, that was one of those ones where.
You were glad to run it, but didn't want it ran against you. Is what this card is for the most part.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, it was more just like it's an investment. It's a 3-diff. It doesn't have a block. Like.
So you're saying it's the AJ Przinsky of UFS. You wanted him on your team because he was a good locker room guy, but you hated him But if you're the other team, you despised him. It was a baseball reference for Robin and Tim Keefe and
I'm
anyone
pretty
else.
sure. Even the people on your team, like you still hate AJ Przinsky when he's on your team, but at least
you tolerated
if he does
him.
Well, you can feel good about it.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. He wins you a World Series, then he's okay, I guess. Whatever. So, yeah, that was a baseball reference for you kids who didn't know anything about it. So
nobody's gonna know who AJ Przinsky is, man.
You and Tim Keefe do. I'm pretty sure Tim will know. So, but anywho, I kind of want to man. I also hated playing against there was what was it? Dust Crusher. I hate having Dust Crusher thrown on my face.
Dude, when's the last time someone hit you with a Dust Crusher?
Well, I've been saying back into the day when Dust Crusher was actually like a viable attack, no one wanted to get stun 2'd because there wasn't a lot of stun hate back then. Not that there was a lot of stun, but Mega Man 2. We know Kevin Broberg's glad it's gone. So
this is literally just like, some PTSD you got right now.
Yeah, I'm PTSDing right now. Yeah. But anywho, yeah. I don't have a lot that I didn't like out of the set. There was a few cards I didn't like, but for the most part, the set was fun. Yeah. And
I mean, I hated Ophid, but it was mostly because I just hated, when someone flipped an Ophid and blocked me with a Templar and was like, oh, cool, nice attack. How about...
Gain 2, draw 2. Yay!
Gain 2, draw 2 cards, and Breaker 1 you. And you're just like, why did I even attack?
Yeah, exactly. And then then they're like, oh, wait, I'll respond reversal because I drew one out of the 2 and I hit you with a Kersplat. And then my next Templar's free.
No, they're going to hit you with a Navos and then you're going to die.
Oh, that's right. We're talking air here. Yeah, that's true. I guess, Dr. Wily 1 was kind of neat, but he really didn't pan. I'm going to kind of go...
What are you talking about? How are you not going to miss Dr. Wily 1? He's about to get, be able... all of, 3 or 4 of Slinka's attacks
are ally. No, I'm saying...
So you were about to be able to make Death ally Wily 2 that used gauge attacks to stack Wily 1.
I'm not saying I'm not sad. I'm sad to see him go because he was so neat when he first came out because he was one of the first characters who were able to blow up something and replace it right away. You didn't have to wait a turn or bring down stuff. But Pinbot Strike was really cool with him because sometimes you could plus off of that if you hadn't used your R yet. Whatever, man. It's like Snake Man. Snake Man's gonna be gone, and we had memes for days here in Rockford for Snake Man. We have a whole entire Nathan Haffey deck deck profile that he's just memeing and retarded the entire time. Sorry, I shouldn't use that word, but anywho, yeah, I don't know. There's not much to say.
Like, there's really not a lot of cards that
you hate out of this set. But a lot of it too is because a lot of it got overshadowed when the new design hit. But even though there were the cards that we mentioned that we were going to miss were still being played, you know, it's just weird, you know. Like there aren't very many direct replacements yet for these cards, so maybe we'll get them in a future set. You know, if they're ever, maybe they won't bring them back like word for word per se, but you know, we could see probably something.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like probably by the time it finally goes, I'll be sick of Skull Barrier.
Oh yeah, I'm already sick of that.
I was gonna say, but I realized it's the PTC.
Good riddance. Oh wait, never mind.
Yeah.
That and Dodge. I was sitting here looking at the list. And I'm like, oh, thank God, I hate these two cards.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that real quick.
Staying.
Let's talk about that. Quick Man, he's finally getting support, and now he's gone. Poor Quick Man. Poor Quick Man.
Like if you want to play Quick Man, just play Jeffrey.
Yeah, I understand that now. Yeah. Different symbols, but yeah. Very true. All right. I think are we wrapping up on the... Do we have any final words? Do you want to say anything, Rob, as your favorite set in Standard rotates out? Do you want to say anything?
We're waiting for the eulogy here?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, it had a pretty good run. You know, hopefully we will someday get like some more Mega Man guys. Like the guys in Battle for Power like aren't really that good. You know, you still got Yamato Man who's waiting for a hero to show the world, but maybe not. I don't know. He's not that good.
Could have been me last World. Could have been me.
But yeah, I mean, this is sort of like a weird set for me to like rotate, just because, you know, like the old, like when the early like Red Horizon stuff like came back and then left again, like that wasn't a big deal. The King of Fighters stuff was kind of one of those things where by the time it left, like I feel like everyone else had the like opinion of just like finally like I guess for them like that leaving was almost like this leaving for me, where it's just like the set that's been out like forever that like, you know, has always been around.
Yeah.
But those cards were stuff where it's like I didn't even necessarily have all of them, just because I got in like afterwards and then like you couldn't quite get them. But yeah, this is just one where pretty much like every deck I've ever built, like, you know, has considered like these cards.
Sure.
And yeah, it's just gonna be like kind of weird. Like I guess there's so many cards in this set that I just like automatically think of like with a certain symbol where it's like, oh, gotta run this card, and then it's like can't.
Yep.
So it's gonna be a weird sort of like adjustment. And I guess like that's sort of just gonna be, I guess like sort of the new thing, right? Is just now each like basically I've now caught up to the point where every set that rotates
is something
is gonna be a set that I was like playing when it came out.
Yep.
So yeah, I don't know. It's weird. A weird feeling.
It's a very weird feeling. Barry,
sets staples that you think about instantly when you're picking a symbol.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, it's gonna be sad to see it go, but I'm glad it's gone. I'm glad. It means the sets are coming out in regularity. So
I guess the thing too is like this just feels like it has like way more of the cards like that than like than you know the Tins had.
Yeah.
Than even like
Warriors of the Night,
Neomax and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Like there really weren't like that many cards in Neomax, at least that I felt like that were just like, what's it like? You're definitely running this.
Yeah.
Like there were good like niche cards that, you know, you would like miss. I mean, what's it like? I think of something like the Ash stuff. You know, there's definitely like cards like that would be interesting to be getting played. Whatever his one diff is like picks up face downs, like
Cunning and Prideful.
Yeah. But this it just feels like I'm pretty much like this set leaving. It feels like almost every symbol is like losing something that it's gonna miss.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. Yeah, it's kind of weird because I can't. Can you say that about Warriors of the Night, which is the next set that's rotating?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Yeah, it's just this is like a really. I think this is just like a really solid set.
It's gonna be the first. Like I think like with the interjection of all these newer sets, this is the first standard set leaving that I actually like feel that there's going to be meta shakeups because certain symbols may completely change because they're missing some of these cards now. You know,
this reminds me a little bit of the first King of Fighters set leaving.
Oh, sure. Yeah,
like
because
I feel like some of like basically the
because all took a huge hit after that.
Basically, all and Earth lost so much from like the Team Fatal Fury guys leaving.
Mm-hmm.
Just basically like right when like basically when they lost like Champ getting a ride, like some of those like attacks, like like just some of the little spammy stuff,
Tiger
like
Knee,
weapon,
stuff like that,
Hungry Wolf,
yeah.
like all that, like those symbols like changed drastically.
Yep.
And this feels like a lot of symbols are like losing cards that had like that level of impact.
Oh, coincidentally, I think this was the first set the ranged keyword changed too, right?
I would assume it probably was different for the tins.
It might have. I don't remember.
Yeah.
So.
And I don't know what was going on with King of Fighters. So.
Yeah. All right then. We're gonna try to. I know Rob's going to the PTC this weekend. There is a stream. There's going to be on the store's Twitch channel. I believe Jacob posted it in the event page because I asked for it and then looked at the event page, then found it, and said, never mind, I found it. But we're going to be doing a restream if the wife permits because she's already kind of getting crabby about that. So me and Tim Friedley, we're going to be doing a restream for as much as we can.
There you go. Just stream from like the garage.
I was thinking about it. Or I can just let it go and have Tim restream the whole thing on my computer. It's just kind of weird that, it'd be, yeah. He could use his own setup or whatever. But like, comment, subscribe, I guess. Patreon stuff. Yeah. Come watch it. We have that box opening this weekend. We would appreciate your support. We were able to get a couple more cameras and a newer laptop. So as you guys seen, the video quality starting June 1st are going to be all brand new setups with hand cams and all that fun stuff.
And this is for what, Versus Series stuff?
This is for the Versus Series stuff. And then it's also translated into our Sunday Fun Day streams where we stream everything on Sunday. And then the PTC, the big lead up to the Rockford PTC, because I'm trying to get all this stuff set up. Still need to work on the audio a bit, I believe. I haven't totally gotten that underneath my wings, but video is no problem. Audio is the big issue. So, but yeah. I got nothing else, man.
Yeah.
Thanks
Barry,
for coming.
Barry, thanks for joining us.
Again, thank you for coming on. I know it's been a long time coming, and I know we've had to cancel a few times, and you were, because you were at work, and who knows what part of the country. So glad to have you home in Mississippi. If you ever want to come back on, let me know. So, and we can talk about something other than a set leaving. We can talk about a PTC. We can talk about, there we go. We'll have you on to hype up that Mississippi PTC, man. We'll get those people going because we need people to go down there. So
probably want to get Brad Townsley on for that because he is like the local, like crazy. He will have a blast on camera.
Okay, there we go. Because
he's got a bounce house and he smashes chairs.
Yeah, he smashes chairs and he has a bounce house. So I think I think he may have to. He needs his time in the sun. So like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for coming on. We'll see you guys next week on the God Treatment. And that's it. Good night, everyone. What? Barry, you got something?
Oh. Yeah.
I want to thank Legendary Wolf Games. Thank you gaming from ordinary to legendary.
There we go.
Thank you guys from the Guile Treatment for having me on.
No problem, man.
I can't wait to get back on.
Win a PTC or have a good topic, and you can come on. That's basically the criteria.
I'm going to try to do well at the Mississppi PTC. I'm debating whether or not to just play Remulus because I really like her off air, but I might just stick with Cassie since I know her.
Just play Cassie and win because you're going to win. You want that plane ticket.
A plane ticket's pretty nice. So,
and then you could shove it in Rob's face. So,
I mean,
disinvited.
Cassie gets some new toys, so I mean, Power Cycle being able to reset your Shadow Inheritance is nice.
That's also very true. Yeah, that's very true. Yeah. I think Rob is having PSD now. He's having flashbacks to like Nam or something.
Okay, we're just gonna continue to push his favorite character.
There you go. I played her this weekend in our premiere store event off of Good though. So I played her off.
Yeah,
of
how'd
Good,
you do?
I got second.
Perpetual.
Yeah. I lost to Ben. It was on stream. I lost to Ben playing Taki, and then I beat Trent in third round and ended up getting second. So.
Oh, I thought you were saying that Taki came in first. I was like,
no,
what?
No, Lilith came in first. Lilith beat the shit out of Taki in the final round. So.
Nice.
Yeah. Because Lilith 2 in standard and turbo with all of Zhonghua support is pretty good. So
you didn't want to play Cassie off of Earth so that you get fusion refusals?
Nah. I wanted SRK so I could stack stuff and mill it off the top with her ability and stack stuff. So, you know.
Oh, come on. Fusion refusal with power flip, you just go up and down.
Didn't even play that. Didn't even play power flip, man. I wanted to use. I was trying to go for the multiple confronting Jetta meme. So that's what I was doing. So yeah. But anyway, we're gonna end the episode because we always have trouble ending episodes, like always. Good night, everyone. We'll see you later.
Good night.